Good afternoon and happy Meatless Monday. It is our second to last Meatless Monday, which is crazy to think. The 6-week block has gone so quick again. We are making tonight our Mexican salad, which is going to be so delicious. Super easy, quick. You can put everything in together or you can mix it up. There's so many options that you can do. So as always, we'll wait a couple of minutes to get people on, and then we'll start cooking. So let's give it a couple of minutes. I'm just gonna get my water bottle. Cool, so I can see one person has popped on. I'm not sure who you are, so if you're coming in to cook along, then say hello so I know that you're cooking. You see, yeah, I've got fun. Thanks. Are you not on yet? No, we're on. We are live. Oh, Jotika. Hi, how are you doing? We hadn't chatted today, so I didn't know if you were going to show up. But you're a committed Meatless Monday attendee. Now I have a question. Were you able to get a ripe avocado? Because I definitely didn't get a ripe avocado. I got a sad avocado. So I'm not going to have avocado in my dinner tonight, but I'm going to save this for when it's ready and have either the best avocado toast, or we might add it to next Meatless Monday's dinner. So well, let's wait one more minute and then we'll start cooking. We'll see if anyone else pops on. I love this salad because it is so easy. You can literally do it in your, you can mix it all in one big bowl and just serve it, or you can do it completely differently and have it all as like a burrito bowl. Or you can have it all as a burrito bowl. So there's so many options. Yeah, oh, lucky you, I didn't get one. I just had to enlist my pantry next door for some frozen corn because I thought we had some in the freezer, and so I didn't get any, and we didn't. So, got the corn, it's okay, crisis averted. Perks of knowing your neighbours. Okay, so let's start one more minute. Okay, cool. So there's 2 more people who have popped on. So say hello. Let me know that you're cooking so I can see who's cooking with us and who's not. It's 5:34, so I think we should start cooking. So the first thing you're going to do is get your quinoa ready by rinsing it under cold water. The reason why we rinse it under cold water is just it allows, it takes off like the dirty husky taste, rather than if there was ever a any manufacturing kind of things and dust and mite, and there's so many things out there. So we're gonna have 1 cup of quinoa. If you are serving like 4 hefty boys, then I would recommend increasing the quinoa by half a cup. But if you're just doing for your family, then your 1 cup will be more than enough. So I have my pot here, and then you need your sieve. And so I just have my normal basic sieve. We've just got home the second we're joining. Okay, cool. Hey, Cara, thank you for joining in. We can, we've only just started. So basically, we're just getting our quinoa, and we're going to put 1 cup into our sieve. Here, I'll move the screen down. Is that better? Yeah. 1 cup into the sieve. And then all I'm going to do is head over to the sink and just give it a really good rinse and just run my fingers through it to make sure that we get off all of the crumb on the outside of the quinoa. Can you see? Yeah. And then just give it a good shake to get any water off. And then I just add it to the pot. And, oops, that wasn't as successful as normal. Cool, so then you have your quinoa in your pot, and then basically all we're going to be adding is our 2 tins of diced tomatoes. You can use any diced tomatoes, you can use flavoured ones, non-flavoured ones, it's entirely up to you. And then your 1 teaspoon of cumin. You're more than welcome, if you like that smoky cumin flavour, then you can totally add more cumin or less, if you, depending on how you like. If you like spice, then you could totally add your, if you like spice, you could add like 1 teaspoon, probably not a teaspoon, probably half a teaspoon of chili flakes or chili powder, because that's a good thing to do. So I'm just going to pour in my 2 tins of tomatoes. So your tomatoes is more than half, 1 can of tomatoes is more than 1 cup. However, there's not as much liquid with it, so we just add 2 for 2 basically. What I'm then going to go and do is just run the cans under running water and just try and clean down the sides, but get the least amount of water in there as possible. So see how the sides have been cleared down, well, mostly, and there's not too much water in there, and then we're just going to add that water in. I'm going to repeat with the other can. Cool, and then I'm going to give that a really good stir. Get out of there. Oh, crash bang. Okay. So people think that 1 cup of quinoa is not much, but because you have the tomatoes with it, it bulks it out quite a lot. I'm adding in my 1 teaspoon of cumin. And then giving it a good stir. I'm making a mess today, but that's okay. And then we're just going to turn that onto a really high heat and cook it just like we would normally cook quinoa. So all you're going to be doing is getting it to a boil and then slowly reducing it to a simmer, and then not letting it get any more simmery. Just stay at one side. The next thing we're going to do is drain and rinse our black beans. So we have 2 cans of black beans here. Got my can opener. And once again, if you're just serving for 2, then you can always use just 1 can of black beans. If you're making your dinner and your lunches again, then open the 2 cans. Oh, I don't often want to be able to do this. I have a new can opener at work called the Magic Can, and honestly, it is the best thing in the world. I never struggle to open cans anymore. But then when I go back to using a normal can opener, I struggle. Ugh. Okay, that will do. So I'm just going to open 1 can for now because honestly I don't really have the mental capacity to open 2. But there's one, and I'm just going to put this into the sieve. going to empty the black beans out into the sieve and just give them a really good rinse. So now that they're sitting to the side, we've had some more people join in. So let me know, say hello, let me know if you're cooking. We've only just started, so we can always catch you up if you are joining in to cook. It's not too late. Say hello, and then otherwise, if you're just watching, welcome. Ask any questions if you want any questions, and just let us know why you're joining in tonight. Okay, so the next thing we've done our rinse and drain our black beans and set aside, and then now we're going to thaw our corn, which is what I have on the side here. So we're just going to let that sit and thaw. I might actually pour some water over it. And then that will help it thaw just that little bit faster. And then we're going to dice up our tomatoes, avocado, capsicum, and onion. And this is where your recipe can kind of go one or two ways. You can always just chuck everything into one bowl, mix it all up, and you've got a salad. Or if you don't like your food touching, then you can have everything separate. There's so many different options for this recipe. If your quinoa is starting to bubble like mine, turn the heat down. You never want it to be to a full bubble, but you slowly reduce the heat as the quinoa cooks. Okay, so I'm going to dice my tomatoes first. I should get a knife. Is everyone caught up? Is everyone at the same space? For my tomatoes, you can do it any which way you like. You can either dice them or you can put them into little triangles. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to put mine into little cubes just because that's how I like to have mine in my burrito bowl. So I'm just going to make them into little smiles, and then I'm going to put them face down on the board and just dice them up a little bit. I love this meal because it literally is a one-pan meal, really quick, easy chop. You can kind of chop whatever's in your fridge. You don't have to go out and buy specific ingredients if you don't want to. And it's also awesome to take as a salad to friends' places, because it's got everything that people need. It's got your carbs, your protein, it's got your veggies, it's got your healthy fats. And who doesn't love Mexican, really? You can spice it up a little bit by cooking some, cooking your capsicum and your onion with your black beans, and putting some cumin or some chili pepper with them, or some paprika, or some cayenne. There's so many different options. Who else is popping on? Say hello if you've ever said hello. I can see people are watching, but I can't see who you are. So I would love to have a chat with you. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. If you are basically just watching to learn some things or to get involved, then it's not too late to start cooking. We've literally only just started. This meal is a really quick 15-minute meal, so you can always catch up. As always, try and compost if you can, but no big deal if you can't. It's like, when people ask me how they make small changes into their life, I always say start by composting, because all it takes is an addition of an ice cream tub or some sort of container, and then you just put your food scraps in it, and then you can just either dig them into your lawn, which I wouldn't recommend, but people do that option as well. So sorry, now I'm just dicing the onion, just FYI. I'm going to dice. I love onion. My partner Jake loves onion, so we're not too phased about how big we cut our onion. However, for example, my brother Luke, he hates red onion. So if I was cooking for him, then I would make sure that I was always chopping it as small as possible. But once again, it's entirely up to your taste. Yeah, but composting is like the easiest addition to your life. It literally takes the same amount of time as if you're cooking any other meal, because instead of just putting your rubbish all into the bin, then you put some of your food scraps into the container rather than into the bin. So there's no added time there. And then the only added time that you have is taking it out to your compost bin. And we don't even do it every night. We might do it every 3 nights, just depending on how we are going and how much cooking I'm doing. I normally find that we don't really put any food scraps in there from like Monday to Wednesday, and then that's when I kind of start cooking again. So we have food scraps going in there more often on like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But so now I'm just dicing up my capsicum, and depending on what you like, you can always leave your capsicum in long lines, but I like to have them diced up because then we've got the same size food for each vegetable that we're having, so you can have like a piece of each vegetable on your fork. But that's once again entirely up to you. But yeah, sorry, I keep getting distracted about my compost. But compost is the easiest addition to your life if you're looking to decrease how much rubbish you're putting into the landfill, if you're looking to utilize your food scraps in your garden, because it provides nutrients in the soil, and then it obviously provides nutrients into your plants that you're growing. And if that's vegetables, then that's great. I'm just going to turn my quinoa down like a little bit more. You can kind of see it bubbling over there, so we don't want it to be bubbling too much. And then once you have like your compost sorted out, then like maybe that's where you could like, so I remember for me, I did my composting last year all over winter, and then I was like, whoa, what am I going to do with all this compost? Like, this is so exciting. And that's how I got into gardening. So that's how I started kind of like, okay, what can we do with our compost, and how does it work, and where can we go with it? So like these small changes and seeing how easy they are, that is what helps you kind of start that next step, and then start that next step. And it might feel like it's taking ages for you to be able to include these steps in your life. It shows that it's totally possible for you to be able to do. So it's kind of like the little gardens that are at Newbold right now. Like the little gardens are incredible for showing people how easy it is to plant a seed. And then once you plant the seed, you watch them grow, and then you get that satisfaction and from seeing the plants sprout up, and then you want to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. So it's just those little things. If there's something that you want to start doing, so say your big massive goal is, I want to become more eco-friendly. Okay, but how? Like, how are you going to get there? And so you can do those little things, like say compost, plant one seed in your garden. Becoming more eco-friendly is putting a keep cup in your bag or in your car or anywhere you like. I have a metal straw that's in my handbag constantly, you know? Like, so little things like that are like, they're 2-second changes, and they give you satisfaction so that you want to keep doing it. So that's definitely a good way to be able to do it. Chantal, hello, love the tips on your live cooking. Definitely like the idea of composting. Awesome, Chantal, that's so cool. Like, honestly, this is what it's all about, is just having a chat, making things feasible for people, and just giving people the options. Like, knowledge is power, and we love to share the knowledge. So the thing is, if you're composting, you have to make the decision if you're composting for your garden or if you're just composting to kind of get rid of your food scraps. If you're composting for your garden, then make sure that you don't put any citrus or any onion skins or garlic skins into your compost, because that holds, they take a long time to break down for one, and then they also really burn worms, and worms are like, essentially the more insects that's in your compost, the healthier it is, because the bugs are there. So now I'm just cutting up my lemon. If you missed the start of the Meatless Monday, I was chatting away about my avocado, cooking my, oh nice, yeah, so you can, is it, Adam, is it unsafe to cook with rings on? No. So for anybody else, I'm freshly engaged. On Friday night, my partner asked me to marry him, so I said yes. So I don't have my ring on because it's getting resized at the jeweler today. I miss it, and it's really funny because I've only had it for a couple of days, but dropping it off the jeweler was really sad. But definitely in other aspects, because I knew that Adam was asking that for that reason, I don't like cooking with jewelry on. And in terms of Ministry of Primary Industries, in terms of health and safety, it's recommended to not cook with rings or watch or nail polish or anything along those lines on, just because it is something that can get into food. There's lots of crevices in rings that bugs and germs can get into. So with my job, that is actually what was one of the hot topics of the weekend, going, well, what are you going to do when you cook? Because I don't know how many times my client has messaged me saying, hey, you left your rings here. And so I definitely don't want to. I'm probably going to be putting it on my necklace or something along those lines to be able to keep wearing my engagement ring while working. So that's the plan, but it's not certain yet. We're not sure. Cooking my capsicums and onions. Yeah, Jotika, you can totally cook your capsicums and onions. It depends on the textures and the flavors. I'm really keen on a fresh and crunchy meal, so I'm keeping mine fresh. If you want to cook yours, then totally cook them down. It changes the texture, still makes the taste incredible. Chantal, congratulations on your engagement. Thank you so much. We're really excited. Cara put black beans in the tomato mix. This is gonna... No, not at all. So black beans don't... Oh, I should be watching. Black beans don't absorb any liquid, so it's not going to change your liquid ratios. It's okay. And it's actually probably going to taste really good. So Cara, good job. Right. It's a lot of chatting tonight because this meal is super simple and it's literally just a one pot quick meal. How's everybody's quinoa going? Mine's still got a wee way to go. But also remember, when you cook your quinoa, normally you will, all the water will absorb, and then you put the lid on, turn the heat off and put the lid on and leave it for 10 minutes, then you fluff it with a fork. However, because we've got our tomatoes and stuff in here, it's going, a lot of the liquid is going to be absorbed, but it's not going to be absorbed as much as you think it would. There's still going to be a lot of moisture in there, kind of like Mexican rice. Crunchy. What's your quinoa still crunchy? Yeah, mine too. But if your veggies are still crunchy, yeah, like that too. It's okay. So this is, as you can see, this is a meal that's super easy and basic, and this is all we have. That's it. We're just gonna chop our veggies, chat for a little bit, wait for our quinoa to cook, and we're good to go. I have my baby leaf lettuce. That's going to be the base of my bowl. While I'm sitting here actually chatting away, you guys can watch me struggle to use my really crappy can opener. Cans should always have that little tab. And it's the same, I guess, when we're talking, before we were talking about goals as well. I think the most important thing for when people are trying to stick to their goals is to figure out their why. So what I mean by that is, so many people say, I want to lose weight, or I want to run a half marathon, or I want to save enough money to travel overseas, or I want to get my promotion at work. So a lot of these goals are really normal goals that everybody has, and they're awesome goals. However, it's 80% of these people don't reach their goals. And why is that? Why is it? How many times have you gone on a diet and you've got halfway through and you've gone, I don't want to do this anymore, this sucks. So, and a lot of the time it's people's why. When you set your goal, the root cause of wanting to achieve that isn't there. So for example, with me and doing Meatless Mondays, my why is to teach. I love teaching, I love inspiring people, I love helping people create change. That's my why. That's what makes me show up every single Monday for you guys. When people say they want to lose weight, if it's for, say, superficial things like looks and appearances and things along those lines, then if that why is deep enough, and that will keep them going. However, if the why is, say, so that this person can walk up a flight of stairs without losing their breath because that makes them feel healthier, then that could keep them more accountable than later on. So with anything in life, like if you're trying to do a meatless Monday every week and you're trying to figure out how to stay accountable and keep your meatless Monday going when things get difficult, you have to figure out your why. Is it for the planet? Is it for the animals? Is it for you? Is it because plant-based cooking makes you feel really good? So that's the things like along those lines that we talk about a lot at Balance Me, and how we can help people create change, but sustainable change, and change that they actually want within themselves rather than change that they think is expected of them. So I'm just going to go over to the sink and rinse out this last can of black beans. Cool. Crunchy. How's everybody else's quinoa going? We get 2 bowls ready to serve up. So, firstly, the base of our lettuce, the base of our bowls. I always like to do greenery for the base of your bowls, whether that be spinach, lettuce, anything. I just like, because a lot of the time people wonder like how they stick to a health goal, and for me, my thing that's kept me going all these years is volume. I have to feel like I'm still eating a decent amount of food so that I'm actually full, rather than eating a tiny meal that's got really dense calories and being hungry an hour later. So volume, volume, volume. Lettuce is practically, it's not a 0 calorie ingredient, but it's very low in calories, so it keeps you going. Quinoa is cooking away. I'm just channeling to the quinoa, hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. How is everyone else's quinoa? I'm still waiting for ours. I feel like I've given you enough inspirational speeches for tonight. It might be a bit of an overload. Is that even possible? I'm not sure, but I would hate to make you feel that way. I'm having jalapenos with ours tonight. Ugh. Hot tip, if you can't open the can, get the back of your knife and tap the can a couple of times, and this will release the pressure, and ta-da. So if you ever can't open a can, that's how you can open your can. Quinoa, should we do a quinoa dance? Hurry up quinoa, hurry up quinoa. Ask me some might be ready. Is yours ready, Jotika? Mine's not ready yet. So the way you can see if quinoa is ready, another way, so for example, if you're like, ooh, did I add enough water? I'm not sure. A good way to tell is if the quinoa has released its little tail. So what you'll see, my tails are starting to come, but they're not out yet. And so you'll see, not sure, might be ready, not sure. Okay, yeah, well, have a look. What about Adam and Cara? So you might see, if you added extra water, then it might not come down just a bit. But you'll see the little tails come out of the seeds, and that's how you know that your quinoa is ready. So if you were ever cooking quinoa just the regular way, so 1 cup of quinoa to 2 cups of water, and you think, oh, did I add enough water? I'm not sure. Then definitely always just check with the tails that have come out. Otherwise you're going to have a very crunchy seed. It's not the Ours have grown black bean tails. Well, that also works. That also definitely works. But yeah, it's not such a. It's not a big deal if you eat like quinoa undercooked. However, it will be country. You won't get as many nutrients from the quinoa itself. But however, in saying that, I've definitely added quinoa to a granola and like made a toasted quinoa granola. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Kara's eye work and see eyes on the woohoo! Tails and quinoa. My tails are coming. They're definitely coming. So think about it though. If you were cooking this meal and you were in a hurry, well not in a hurry, but you just really couldn't be bothered cooking, you could have put the quinoa on, chopped up all your veggies, set a timer on the oven, and just gone and had a chill out and put your feet up. That would have been quite nice. You could have maybe jumped in the shower. And that means that before dinner is even served, you've had a shower, and so that's one less thing you have to do before bedtime. That is if you shower at night time. I shower at night time, so well I shower in the morning and night, but that could be that. You could, there's so many options. How long have we been cooking for? Yeah, half an hour. Is your water absorbed, Adam, from in your quinoa? I'm gonna go for a dig. Oh, I'm definitely getting tails. Right, I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to let it bubble for added salt and sugar. Jatika, you can never get rid of the salt and the sugar, can you? So, I'm definitely going to add salt and pepper to my quinoa. However, I'm not going to add the sugar. The reason why Jatika adds the sugar is because it's one, sweetens up the sauce, and it takes off the bitterness of the tomatoes. So feel free to do that. You only need to add like not even a teaspoon. You can do that if you want to, but you don't have to. Jatika adds salt and sugar to every recipe that we make. Don't you, Jatika? Tomatoes need sugar. I mean, that's true. It's true. Right. Should we start plating? I'm ready. Where was the cumin and chili supposed to go? Cumin is meant to go into your quinoa mix, into your quinoa tomato mix. And then the chili, I was just saying if you like chili, then you can add chili to it. And the jalapenos, they're going to go on top. So I've just opened the jar, but I haven't done anything to them yet. And they're just going to go as a garnish on top. And you've also got your parsley and your lemon to go on top. So I've got my parsley here from the garden. So I'm just going to do my cutting trick to get that, serve that. So now for your quinoa, you can either serve as a third to a half a cup, depending on how hungry you are. I'm going to go for a half a cup today, because why not? Half a cup is actually a very good serving. So I'm just going to place that in the middle. Could have made that prettier, but that's okay. I'm going to get out black beans. And I'm just using a cup measure because that's the easiest thing. But I'm going to do 2/3 of a cup. However, that's not like a specific serving or anything. That's just me using the cup measures. Cool, so we've got our black beans, we've got our quinoa mix. I'm going to put in our green peppers, green capsicum, and then I'm going to put in our red onion. And I'm just going to go around the bowl kind of in a circle. And then I'm actually going to put my black beans into a bowl so that I can drain my corn. Cool. And they are melted, not melted, defrosted. Where was the chili supposed to go? In the, oh no, so we've answered that. Okay, cool. And then I'm just going to use my hands and I'm just going to mix that through. Cool, that's done. And then finally the tomato. This bowl's a bit bigger. Cool, so we have that. So basically that's what it looks like. Yum, eat the rainbow, definitely. And then your final thing is going to be your jalapenos. So once again, this is totally up to you. If you like spice, go wild. And what you'll find, so like my partner doesn't really like much spice. Well, when we first met, he didn't really like much spice. However, we started eating jalapenos and that's how we started like improving his spice, I guess, repertoire. And now he loves spice and he loves jalapenos. So it's entirely up to you how many you add. But jalapenos are quite a sweet spicy. It's not like blow your nose off spicy. So then we have our jalapenos on top. And then what I'm going to do with my parsley, you can either chop it up. I've shown you this a few times before. You can either just chop it up. Yum, that looks delicious. We'll have to try this dish. Cool, yeah. So you can either just chop it up or like me, I like to just use my scissors and just chop, chop, chop. It's entirely up to you. You can do however you please. I just find this way the easiest. And I find that if I do it with like my knife and then sprinkle it over, I get quite pedantic with where the sprinklings go, which is silly. So that's why it's quite good to do it with a knife. With the scissors. And then to finish it off, get your lemon wedge, make sure that there's no pips in it. And just, sprinkle it over. And then your next thing is your avocado. However, like I said at the start, my avocado is rock hard, so I won't be having that on my meal tonight, but delicious. And if you were in a hurry, or if you were, say, taking this to a friend's place for a meal, then what I would do personally is cook my quinoa like this, and then I would just add all of the ingredients into this pot, mix it up, boom, done. Salad for multiple people, keeps everyone happy. It's gluten-free, dairy-free. It's practically the only thing that would like stop someone from eating it is if they're FODMAPs with the tomatoes and the onions, but that's entirely up to you. Such an easy, simple meal. I really hope you enjoyed this week. Please, once again, share your photos with us so that we can see you hoeing into your Meatless Monday. And then the next thing is, next week is the final Meatless Monday. So it is your last chance to get involved. We won't be doing another one until 2021. So definitely next week we are doing brinner, which means breakfast for dinner. So we are making a full New Zealand cooked breakfast, but vegan style. So come along for that. It's definitely going to be interesting. You're going to probably push the boundaries a little bit with it, but that's the best part of cooking and learning these new recipes, is some things that are really scary or you didn't think that you would like, you actually do really, really like. So come get involved. Thank you so much for joining in, and I really hope you enjoy your dinner. If there's any questions, feel free to shout out. Chat soon.